Alright, welcome back. I got everything working, and I'm now going to show that it does work, and then I'm going to walk you through how to do it yourselves. Number one thing is, whoops. Oh, dear God. Okay, well, good. So, good. So basically, I just erased the thing I had, but it's fine, because we'll just get it working again anyway. So number one thing you need to do is you need to find your health. So I'm finding my health. I've separated the... Actually, no, I gotta redo it now, probably. This may or may not find my health. We'll find out here in a minute. Actually, I don't even have health right now, so... Okay, there we go. So... No. Alright, so... Yeah, I gotta take this out. So, I decided to take out the timer part because it was kind of a waste due to the fact that, apparently I just found the timer value pointer, like the root pointer right here, so it's always there. So, you know, whatever. And this is a lot quicker now just doing this one scan. So, you know, win. Alright, so, what we're gonna do is we need to find out, we've already figured out where the opcode is that tells the game to take the health off of you is. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the other player's health so that we can do some comparing between our structure and their structure and how things work. Because we know that both structures are using the same opcode. And you'll understand, if you don't understand what a structure is, you'll understand in a minute. So I've already found his health before, and I know that there's a difference in the values of 3 CD 80. By that I mean if I take this value here, the 9B, pardon me, 821 C1078, if I take that and I add 3 CD 80, I get this value. And that value is going to be his health. So based on my pointer, or basically I found the root pointer to his health from the root that I have. So, knowing that, you can get that off screen. So, what I can do now is I can take these two values and I can break them down and make them into something useful. So we're going to browse the memory here, and we need to find this right here. So we've got that. And what we want to do is we want to do a dissect data structures. So we're going to dissect data structure starting with this value. Now, if you remember, this RBX was 8D8. This 8D8 offset is what's being used to. This is the value, or that's the pointer to the opcode. We want to find the root of the entire structure, so we have to minus the 8D8. So we do minus 8D8. And then we also need to add in the other player's health so we can figure that out. So we'll call that player 2, and we'll rename this one to player 1. And we have to type in his health address, so it's 9B821FDDF8. And again, minus 8D8. 8. Doesn't really matter if these are capital or not, but I prefer to capitalize them. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hit define new structure. Doesn't really matter if we call it what we call it. Yeah. And then we'll just set this to 5,000 just for fun, because that's kind of just how I feel like doing it, nice round number. Alright, so what we're doing here is basically each set of values here and addresses is, or each this thing on the left side, these are the actual offsets. So if we go all the way down to 8D8, 8D8, whoops, 8D8 gives us the health values. So we got both. So cool, that's our health, that's his health, every single time. Now what we want to do though, is we want to find which values are different. So which offset in RBX is always a different number, which basically is the ID between the two of them. So you look through and you kind of look at the ones that are in this different purple color. If they're in the same group, you'll get a green and red, but I tend to put them in this other thing just because this is, you know, it's another way to look at it. I prefer to use different groups instead of different, or within the same group. Alright, so, pardon me. So we're going to scroll down, just look at the different colored ones, and see if they look like they could be different. These look like they could be, unique to each one, as do these. These do too, these do too, these do too. If it's like 32 and 0, it's probably not the same. 0 and 1, high probability there. If they're way off like this, then you can kind of guess that it's probably not the right one. Like that, obviously, if they're different, or differences of pointers, it's different. It's not what you're looking for. So, actually, I had to go down quite a while to find the one that I found. Alright, so what I ended up using was this one here, D34. So I found this offset, and this is what we're going to use to compare, because this is always 1 and this is always 2 so far for every one of these I run. It's always 1 and 2 there. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually, I found that my script that I wrote is completely jacked somehow, so we're going to start fresh with a new one. We're going to do code injection, open it up like this, and I'm going to rename this to, actually I'm going to do some plagiarizing of my old one. So I'm going to take, I still want to use this allocation part, so I'm still going to do these. So there we go. So I've got that, and basically what this is doing is it's always going to find this part right here based on this set of bytes. So it's always going to find that, and then it's always going to inject there. And so we're going to register the symbol as player 1 AOB, which is why you see it here, player 1 AOB. And then new mem is that's where we're actually going to do our thing, but this is actually different because now it's player 1 because we allocated it as player 1. We're also going to change this to the default, which is 2048, I think. 2048. And I'm just doing that because it worked before, so if it works, I'm not going to screw with it. Alright, so there's that. Alright, so what we're going to do is when we get to player 1, we're going to do a compare. We're going to compare RBX plus D34, which was that offset that we found, and we're going to compare it and see if it's 1. If it's 1, then we're going to jump to a thing called, or a label called infinite H, which obviously stands for infinite health. Otherwise, we're going to jump to original code. Whoops, original code. This is the original code here. Okay, so now that we have that set, under that we're going to put up our infinite H procedure pretty much, and it's basically just going to be blank. We're just going to leave it as is, and that's going to be it. So we're also going to change this to it's not new mem now, it's player 1, and that does its thing. So alright, all that's done, so we're good. So basically what this is saying is if it checks the D34 offset of RBX and it's 1, that means that it's us. That means it's the player. So it's going to go to the infinite health part of the script, which basically does nothing. It's just a nothing. It's just a null. So instead of running this command, it won't do anything. If it's not, then it's going to do what it normally does, which is subtract the amount of damage from the health. We still have to add in one last thing, which is the disable and the deallocation part. So we're going to drop that in there, and from there we should be good. So we're going to assign that to current G. Oh, I didn't define that. Sorry, hold on. Label J or infinite H. There's that, and now let's assign that to current G table. All right, there it is. Okay, so that being done, we're going to call this player 1 infinite health. Alright, so we've got player 1's infinite health here. This is enemy's health. We don't really care about that so much, but we'll just leave there for now. Close that, and now I'm going to, now watch down here. You'll watch and you'll see as I click that, it shows the different stuff there, the jump, and if you uncheck it, it goes back to normal. So that's how you turn on and off the infinite health. Either it's going to do that jump to our special code that we put up, our code injection, or it won't. But since I did that, let's see what happens when I take damage. So I don't. Basically, I take no damage. So that's pretty cool. Now, the important thing is, does he take damage? And the answer is yes. As a matter of fact, he takes a lot of damage, which is fantastic. And in fact, we can make this more interesting. So let's come back to this. Now I'm going to delete this old script, and I'm actually going to save it this time because, man, I would hate to lose it all again. So what I'm going to do is I don't even actually need this anymore. Eventually this will go away. Can you go away? You're not going to go away, are you? Okay, I'm going to close that. I want to uncheck you. There we go. Alright, so we're going to delete this just for the sake of stuff being cool. We're going to put this there, and I don't need this anymore. And in fact, I don't even need this to. Yeah, I don't even need this to do anything anymore. So I'm actually just gonna remove this altogether. I might use it at some point again, so it's kind of dumb for me to delete it, but you know, I basically know what it is anyhow. I can find the value pretty easily nowadays. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at this, and now, so you see what the original code was, right? Well, if we copy that and paste it twice, it's not going to do that twice. So if you follow the logic here, that should mean that he gets double damage. So, I don't know, did he get double damage? It's hard to tell. Let's see. Let's see if I can copy and paste it a couple times and see if it does it more. Let's see if it does any more damage. So it looks like no, it doesn't. But what we'll do instead then is, if I move this to maybe a different number, I'm kind of just more or less experimenting right now. So if I said a 1 here, nope, can't do it that way. That's a good question. I know there's going to be a way to, there's a way to like completely just kill them in one hit, but I don't know what it is off the top of my head. I have to play around. I'd have to look back at my notes to figure that out. 'Cause I know several programming languages, but assembly is like my least favorite language of all of them, just because there's just far too much, too many little caveats and stuff. It's not as simple as, you know, you declare a variable and then you can just, you know, add, subtract, multiply, and divide from whatever variable. It's like way more complex in assembly, where you have to use specific functions to add, supply, multiply, and divide. Unless you're using a particular, a specific thing. So, whoops. Okay, well, so I mean that was basically that. So we've gotten we got some infinite health script going, so that's pretty cool. That means that we've got infinite health, which is awesome. Now I'm kind of curious about the crypt coins and unlocking stuff. Big fan of getting things unlocked. So now we're going to see if we can make something to give us infinite coins. And it's probably going to be a lot quicker and easier than what we just had to do. So we see that we have 1980 now. So let's do a scan for 1980. Or actually, sorry, I'm dumb. We actually have 68,747. That's how many coins that we've got right now. So cool. I'm going to do a purchase. Max Brutality, Soul Leader. I'm curious. Doesn't really do a whole lot there, but okay. The brutalities in this game, I don't understand, like, they're not that brutal. It's just like they finished the guy with a special move instead of like finishing him with something cool, which is kind of stupid. The old Mortal Kombat, it's like if you finish somebody with a move, then you finish them with the move, and that was it. Now it's not so cool. Alright, so I've changed one of those values, and I'm going to see if that did it, and it looks like it did not. So it's going to be a lot of different values here, so bear with me. So I'm basically going to, here I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm going to do this. I'm putting all these values into the list. And then I'm going to go through and just, change them all. So say 60,000. Go down one. 50,000. 40,000. 30,000. 20,000. 10,000. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going way over time, by the way. 12, 13. So let's see if any of these stuck. So it looks like no, none of them have stuck. So there's clearly something strange going on with the coins. So what we'll have to do is I'll have to come back to this, and then we will figure out how the coin system works in the variable, or in how it's stored in memory. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching. We'll get that next cheat going next time. Later.